Hello everyone. In today's video, we dive into the latest article by Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed, published in Arab News newspaper. The title is A Fragile Blueprint for a Shifting Arab World. Before we begin, let me introduce the author, Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed, a Saudi businessman, academic, and thought leader. As an adjunct professor at the University of Arizona and founder of Golden Grass Inc., he brings a rare blend of vision, expertise, and real-world insight to every article he writes. Dr. Al-Rasheed is also a distinguished author. His upcoming book, Saudi Arabia, Transformation, Uncertainty, and Sustainability, explores the kingdom's evolving economic and social landscape amid global change, offering deep insights into development, resilience, and long-term sustainability.
For over 70 years, the world's been working off a map that was pretty much drawn by the United States. Well, that map, it's being completely redrawn right now. Today, we're going to dive into a huge shift in American foreign policy, all based on an analysis by Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed, and we're going to unpack what it all means for an Arab world that's now being forced to chart its own course.
This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the dilemma we're seeing. The world is moving away from these deep alliances built on trust to relationships that feel a lot more like simple business deals. So what happens when a real crisis hits? When a piece of paper, a contract, just isn't enough? That's the big question we're looking at.
All right, so how did we even get here? Well, it all kicks off with this massive pivot in American strategy. A very deliberate step away from its long-standing role as the guardian of the global order.
I mean, just look at this. The contrast is night and day. The old doctrine, the one that shaped the world after World War II, was all about collective security, strong alliances like NATO, even nation building. But the new doctrine, it's all about one-off transactional deals, getting out of so-called endless wars, and pulling the focus way back to the Americas. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a total rewrite of the rulebook.
The author uses this brilliant metaphor to describe the new approach, a mood board strategy. It looks great, it has all these powerful slogans and inspiring images, but when you look closer, there's no actual detailed plan. There's no roadmap. And for America's partners, that vagueness is really unsettling. It kind of leaves them feeling like they're adrift, with no idea what Washington is going to do next. And this uncertainty isn't happening in a bubble. As America takes a step back, other big global players are stepping forward. And that's creating a world order that's a lot more complex and, frankly, a lot more unpredictable. You can see this new multipolar world taking shape all around us. I mean, look at China's massive Belt and Road Initiative, connecting economies across, 150 countries? Then you've got these other power blocks getting stronger, like the BRICS alliance, which just brought in new members like Egypt and the UAE, and they're actively trying to trade more in their own currencies, moving away from the dollar. And then, and this is a big one, in 2023, who was it that mediated the historic deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran? It wasn't Washington, it was Beijing. The lines on the map of global influence are definitely being redrawn.
So if you're a country that has built its entire security strategy on American protection for decades, this new world raises some pretty scary questions. Take the Strait of Hormuz. It's like a superhighway for global energy. Will the U.S. really defend it with the same energy it once did? That single question captures all the new anxiety perfectly. The old guarantees, they just don't feel so guaranteed anymore. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. Let's really focus on what all this means for the Arab region specifically, because this is where the fallout from this shift is being felt in a really profound way. To put it bluntly, the perception on the ground is stark. The analysis makes it clear that years of these policy shifts have created this widespread feeling that America's moral authority, its role as a fair and honest broker, has been just shattered. And this is not just a feeling, we've got the data to back it up. And honestly, this chart is staggering. U.S. favorability in the Arab world has absolutely plummeted to just 15%. The analysis directly ties this collapse to Washington's role in the Gaza conflict, where its ironclad support for Israel, backed by billions in U.S. arms, is seen as being complicit in all the devastation. And this quote from the historian Niall Ferguson really adds another layer to it. It suggests the problem isn't just about foreign policy, it's that the deep political divisions inside the U.S. make it almost impossible to have a coherent, reliable strategy abroad. And that, of course, just makes allies even more worried about whether they can depend on America. Okay, so
You're faced with an unreliable superpower and a pretty chaotic world. What do? Well, the Arab region is being forced to adapt, and that brings us to the proposed solution, a whole new blueprint for autonomy and self-reliance.
Dr. Al-Rasheed lays out this really clear three-part plan. First, you've got to diversify your alliances. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Second, build up your economic resilience so you can handle shocks from the outside world. And third, and this is so important, invest in your own people, your human capital. That's the bedrock of the whole strategy.
And the thing is, this isn't just a theory on paper. The countries in the Gulf Cooperation Council, they're already out there doing it. They're basically a real-world case study for how this blueprint works.
Just look at their playbook. It's incredibly pragmatic. The Gulf states are weaving this complex web of partnerships. They're working with China on infrastructure, with Russia on oil policy, with India on tech. They're hedging their bets on defense, buying both American and French fighter jets. And crucially, they're pouring money into their own futures with huge domestic projects like NEOM.
And you can see that this strategy is actually working when you look at the numbers. Take the UAE, for example. Non-hydrocarbon sectors, so everything but oil and gas, now make up a full 50% of their economy. That's a massive, massive achievement. It shows they're successfully moving away from that old oil dependency and building real economic resilience. They're also using all this new innovation to solve problems that are centuries old. I mean, food and water scarcity have always been huge vulnerabilities in the region. But now, you're seeing these amazing high-tech vertical farms in Qatar, super advanced desalination plants in Oman, and even strategic investments in farmland over in Africa to secure their food supply. They're literally turning old weaknesses into new strengths.
So the final part of this analysis takes all these lessons from the Gulf and thinks bigger. It applies them to a vision for the entire Arab world. It's about moving from individual survival to collective strength.
The end goal here is a huge idea, a pan-Arab economic union. Basically, the idea is to take something like the Arab League and supercharge it. Create this deeply integrated economic bloc where you harmonize trade rules, standardize technology, and pool all your money together for huge regional projects.
And this isn't just some abstract economic theory. Just picture for a second what this could look like on the ground. You'd have solar energy from Egypt powering greenhouses in Jordan. You'd have phosphates from Morocco helping make fields in Iraq fertile again. It's a vision where every country uses its own unique strengths to benefit the entire region.
At the end of the day, the message really boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. In a world where all the old rules are fading away, the best path forward for the Arab world isn't to look outside for a single protector, but to look inward and to start investing in each other.
And that leaves us with one last, really powerful thought to chew on. For decades, the region's path was heavily influenced by a map drawn by someone else. The core argument here is that the time has come for the Arab world to put that old map down, pick up a pen, and start drawing its own.
As we conclude this discussion, we return to the vision expressed by Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed, a vision rooted in clarity, innovation, and a deep commitment to shaping a more stable and interconnected future. For the full article, you can find the complete details in the description below or visit www.arabnews.com. And to learn more about the author, visit www.atifrasheed.org. If this video gave you insight or inspired your thinking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more discussions like this. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and see you in the next video.